And we're live. Hello, hello, hello. This is the Blam Partners Partnership Program webinar on Tuesday, the 23rd of March. Really great to see you guys here. We've got quite an international crowd. My name is Edward van der Klein. I'm super excited to see you all here. This presentation is for information purposes only. You might be just started looking at business opportunities and fun opportunities to start your own business, or you may have been looking at us for a while, which is absolutely great. So the presentation will take probably about 55 minutes, and if you then have questions, we'll do a live Q&A at the end. So really good. Stick around for the presentation. I'll be sort of moderating the chat on the side. I'm not going to wait you any longer. We'll probably take this to the top of the hour, and then we'll usually stick around for another sort of 10, 15 minutes for the Q&A. So make some notes. It could be potentially life-changing. It's going to be good fun. We have a bit of banter throughout as well. And feel free to ask questions in the chat on the side. If you're watching this on the rerun, there'll be links provided in the description below. And any questions you can just leave in the comment section. So that'd be much appreciated. So thank you very much for spending some time with us here. And I'll hand over to Grant.
Cheers, Ed, and thanks, guys. Welcome to people on the live. Welcome to people who are watching on the rerun. You may hear a few bings and bongs as we're going through, because people always join us as we're going through the presentation. So Ed will curate that. If you've got any questions, Ed will also be managing the chat. So if you look on the right hand side, you'll see there's a little chat symbol, and you'll be able to put any questions as we are going through it. But yeah, welcome. My name's Grant. Grant Stain. I'm the CEO here at Blam, and I run the Blam Partnership Program with Ed. And our job is to help budding entrepreneurs, people who are looking to start their own business in digital marketing, start their own business, help them get themselves set up, train them, mentor them, coach them, and get them up and cooking so they can sell AI websites and our other marketing products to small business owners all over the world. We are all over the world, got partners in 4 corners of the earth right now. And when they do set up in business, it's kind of like they've got their own digital marketing agency with a full team behind them, all the designers, the developers, the account managers from day one as their back office, meaning they can focus on concentrating on the good work of helping their customers, growing their business, and really focus on that rather than having to worry about building a team and all the stuff that comes with it. So if you want to find out more about that, stick around. I'm also just going to be talking more generally about what it is to run a digital marketing agency, because some people that come on this webinar, the partnership program isn't for them, and that's absolutely fine. Our goal really is just to provide information, as Ed says, because what we do, we love entrepreneurs, people who've got an entrepreneurial mindset, because our customers are entrepreneurs, our partners are entrepreneurs, and we're entrepreneurs, and we're all in this together, guys. Entrepreneurs change the world. Business changes the world for the better. And so, our job is just try and inspire. And if you want to find out more about the partnership program by the end of this presentation, you can book in with Ed, and he'll put a little link into the chat where you can click on it, and it will go through to his diary, and you can book in with him so that we can do what we call a deep dive, where we can go into a bit more detail. But without further ado, let us crack on and start the presentation. But first of all, I just want to acknowledge, it would be remiss of me not to say that everything has changed, because it has. This time last year, we were just about to start seeing the effects of the pandemic, weren't we? And what a year it has been. And when that first kicked off, that pandemic, we thought that it was going to be a bit of a flash in the pan. Well, I certainly did. I had no idea back in April, May last year that we were still going to be living with these kind of conditions now. And it's still like this all over the world. And if we can take some kind of positivity away from the pandemic, the one thing I will say is the world's become a much smaller place as a result, hasn't it? Because we've all faced the same enemy. Always positive things that we can find in these kind of situations. But I guess that the one thing that you're doing is you're looking and you're asking yourself, how can you secure your future? And in fact, I'm pretty certain one of the reasons that you're watching this is because you've identified that digital and marketing are a solid future-proof business to get into. And quite often the people that, you know, are looking at us and start talking to us have got a real sort of passion for helping small businesses because they know that they all need help and that digital marketing is the thing that's going to help them. So what I want to say is you're right, you know, and don't worry, because, you know, fear can be crippling. It can be a difficult thing to live with when it comes to your career and your life. But what I want to say is that you've identified that digital is a potential opportunity, and if that lights your fire, if that floats your boat, as they say, if you like the idea of selling apps, websites to small business owners wherever you might be in the world, then don't worry, because I'm here to tell you this is a solid industry to be in that's got a very solid future ahead. It's growing exponentially. And over the last 12 months, we've helped more people than ever. Our business has grown over the last 12 months substantially. We've seen our partners become more successful because the environment, the trading environment that we've been in, has been perfectly suited to our business, because businesses haven't had a choice. They've had to do business online, and we were ready to help them. And that's why Blam Partners have led the way. And it's been a humbling experience, guys. But you know, on the one hand, we're being sensitive because we know a lot of people have suffered. But on the other hand, it's been exhilarating because we've been able to help so many people, and we've seen huge success in our business, and that is a win-win. You know, it's a win-win. But you know what? Not all digital marketing agencies have seen huge growth or success during the pandemic. In fact, some digital marketing agencies that I know, you know, personal friends of mine, have actually had to massively downsize their business, furlough their staff, and they've struggled. They really have struggled. Whereas our business has grown. We've taken on staff. We haven't furloughed anybody. And we've seen, you know, a lot of growth. I want to explain to you why that is, in the hope that if digital marketing is something you want to go into, it will give you inspiration and some ideas about exactly how to structure that business and how to make sure that it's future proof and to make sure that you're in it for the long term. And to do that, I'm going to go back into a little bit of history, back to when I first set up my first business. I know I haven't changed a bit. You think that photo was yesterday. But unfortunately, yeah, I'm not quite as hairy as I used to be. And yeah, I've probably put on a few pounds, but that was back 2007. And I was living the what I thought was the entrepreneurial dream. I had a fantastic digital marketing agency. That was my lovely barn conversion. That was my car all stickered up as I took it to Le Mans that year, as I did every year. I had a little race team that I sponsored at the time back then as well. And things were good, you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I sponsored I say a race team. It was one car, but that was the team. It was a Porsche. I love my Porsches.
Oh yeah. I saw a picture on the wall. It's that 944, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. And then we had a 916 after that as well, which was a really cool little car. But yeah, I had a little bit of a passion for my cars. But you know, as it would seem, I had it sussed. My clients were these kind of clients. So these are the guys that I used to service on a daily basis. And for those of you outside the UK, Halfords is the largest retailer of automotive parts and bicycles in the UK. And these were the guys that I did work for, and I would go into their offices or take the brief from these guys. I would do my quote, win the work, take it back to my team. My team would design or develop whatever it was. Might be a website, marketing campaign, brochures, photography, anything to do with marketing and online stuff. And then we would deliver the job, and I'd send an invoice, and 30 to 60 days later, I would get paid. And then we'd go on to the next one. And that was the way we did business. It's actually the way most people still do business, guys. That's the way most digital marketing agencies do business. However, I found it to be a massive mistake to do business in that way, because I had all my eggs in one basket. I relied on one business model, and that business model relied on me waking up every morning at the beginning of the month knowing I had a target to meet. We had to make sales, And if we didn't make sales, the business stopped earning money. In 2008, guys, in the big recession, what they call the huge downturn that happened, the economic recession, let me tell you what happened to me. Well, you imagine my business model was that I needed to make sales every month. What happens in a recession? We've just seen it, haven't we? We're in a recession right now. People let fear rule and they decide to not spend money as much. They become more cautious. They hold on to their reserves. And the big businesses that I was working with decided that it would be a good idea for them to hold on to their money because they were worried. They heard all the stuff about the big crash, the economic downturn, and they decided that they were going to keep their business in-house. They were going to recruit people and do the work in-house and stop giving so much money to me because I was a big overhead. Well, you can imagine in the short few months, my business went from flying high to really, really struggling. I had to make redundancies, guys. People that I worked with for years, my best friends, I had to make them redundant, which was one of the worst things I'd ever done. I had to stop paying myself. I had to sell my car. Times were tough. It got tough, I've got to tell you. And all of this made me look at my business and say, what have I done wrong? I'm supposed to be a successful entrepreneur here, but nobody will give me a job. They're all letting fear rule. That's what happens in recessions, guys. And that's why loads of marketing agencies have struggled over the last 12 months because that was the model they employed. Well, let me tell you what I found out, guys, and this is no secret. 34 recessions there have been since 1854. 34 recessions. So if I was running a business where I had a business model that meant that every time there was a recession, and we know there's going to be one, pandemic or no pandemic, there was a recession coming. Every 10 to 15 years, that's what happens. How can I call myself an entrepreneur? Because my business model was flawed. It meant that during a recession, my business would crumble. And that's what happened to me. I just about held on to that business with my fingertips, guys. It was really tough, but it taught me a lot of lessons. And I had to go through some hardship, I've got to tell you, to get through it all. But as I was starting to build up the pieces again, as I was starting to put things back together, I started to look around and think, right, I can't rebuild what has just fallen over because it's a flawed model. So I looked around and I looked at the successful businesses that had done really well in that recession, businesses that had expanded, not contracted. And I asked myself the question, what do they know that I didn't? How did they do that when everybody, it seems, in my world in the recession, was suffering, was struggling, was not spending, was hunkering down, battening down the hatches, waiting for it to pass? And that recession went on for a long time, guys. Well, I had a customer, a guy called Martin, who came to me at the beginning, right at the beginning of that recession back in 2008, 2009. And he said to me, Grant, we're going into this economic downturn now. I would like to double my marketing spend. And I'm like, oh, this is fantastic news. It's just what I need. But Martin, why are you doing that? Everybody else is cutting their budgets. You know, I'm struggling to get work at the moment. You want to double your marketing spend with me? Great news, by the way. But why? And he says, Grant, I'm a bit long in the tooth now. I've been through several recessions before. And he said, what I know is during a recession, my competition are going to reduce their marketing budgets. They're going to hunker down and they're not going to spend. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend more than them and I'm going to mop up all their customers. And when we come out of this recession, I'm going to be riding high because I'm going to be bigger than and stronger than I ever was because I've mopped up the customers during the recession. And you know what, guys? That's what he did. And it was only a couple of years after that that he was able to retire, a very comfortable retirement, because he did what he said he was going to do. He expanded, not contracted during the recession. But how do we do that, guys? How do we have the opportunity to do that? There is always opportunity in a recession to do that because most people contract, leaving opportunity for those that can expand. So I said, well, if I'm going to do that, I've got to change the way my business works. And so that's what I did. And I built a business that was a completely different business model that I set up in 2010. And it was an app development company, one of the first app development companies in the UK. And we sold mobile apps to small businesses, and we did it en masse, meaning that we gave a mobile app to a small business rather than a large business for a small monthly fee, meaning that we could sell hundreds of them, and the amount that we were asking for from the client wasn't a huge amount of money, meaning that if a recession came along, they weren't going to be worried about what I was charging them, because it was a small amount of money. And that really was the foundation of where Blam started, using a similar business model to that, because I realized that volume was the key. Asking for a small amount of money on a retainer was that recession-proof business that I should have really employed before. And as a result of that, that business grew really quickly, and it expanded overseas. It became I turned it into a franchise, and it became the fastest selling franchise of 2012. That's what taught me a lot about franchising and partnerships that we now use with Blam. And it was a fantastic experience and a great business. However, it gave me access to a completely different marketplace, and that was small businesses. If you remember, I've been dealing with big businesses, and I realized that these small businesses needed much more than just an app to help them with their marketing. And I said to my team, how can we help these small businesses? We've got hundreds of customers now, but how can we help them use the technology that we give to big businesses, meaning a website, for a fraction of the cost that we charge a big business? Big businesses, we charge £10,000 plus for a website with the high-tech tracking technology inside. How could we do that for much less money? Of course, my team said, no, you can't do that, Grant. It's the reason we charge so much money is because it takes a long time to do it. But I persevered and I persevered, and I nagged and I nagged. And November 2013, I sat down in front of the computer with Carl, who's my lead developer, and he said, Grant, take a look at this. And he showed me a platform that had all the technology in. And he said, Grant, this is what you wanted. We can produce this for a small business for an affordable price, and it's got all the tech and more that you want to give small business owners. And that really was when, for us, the AI, the artificial intelligent website revolution began, because artificial intelligence is the tools that we wanted to use, that we were already using for the big businesses. All the big businesses have used AI for years, but we wanted to use it for small businesses because it gets results. It gets a website to convert more, to deliver more leads, and to be a more effective tool for a small business person. But we needed to be able to do it without blinding them with science, without charging them a fortune. AI websites are our thing, guys. That was 7 years ago, more than 7 years ago now that happened. They've come on such a long way since. The technology has grown exponentially. The amount of features and tools that we've put inside these sites is now off the charts. But these websites, the AI websites, are a Blam partner's unique selling point. They're what we call our blue ocean. And Blue Ocean Thinking is a book you might want to look into, where the analogy is, when we're selling an AI website, it's a bit like a shark swimming in a blue ocean with all of the fish to itself, because there's no competition. And there's nobody selling AI websites at the price that we sell them at this affordable price. So we've got no competition. And yet there's lots of people that are selling websites or marketing that are swimming in a red ocean because all the sharks are fighting over the same fish. Now, that analogy is really important, because in the eyes of your prospect, if you tell them that you're a specialist in producing AI websites for small businesses, then that puts you in a blue ocean to them, because nobody else is saying that to them. Whereas if you say, yeah, I'm a website developer, or I sell websites, you're in the ocean, the red ocean, with everybody else that calls themselves a web developer. And this kind of mentality is just one of the things that we use to help Blam partners be more effective, to sell more, and to build their business. So the actual technology combined with the way that we sell it is that sort of killer tool, if you like. It's our secret sauce. So what I'm going to do is, if you'll allow me, so I'm just going to show you what an AI website is very briefly, and to help you understand the technology. And again, like I said at the beginning, If finding out more about Blam is something that is of interest to you, then simply fill out the or click on the link that's in the chat, and you can book an appointment with Ed, and Ed will give you what we call a deep dive, where he'll really take you under the bonnet of this and show you why these products are so awesome. And they really are. So you might be asking, what is artificial intelligence? That sounds a bit complicated. How does that work? It's absolutely really simple. And the good news is our Blam partners don't need to know a thing about code. They don't need to know about design or anything else, because we are their back office. All they do is send us the brief and we take care of the rest. So what is AI? Well, first thing is the website tracks the number of visits, meaning that you can give a unique message to a visitor that might be a first-time visitor, that might say, hey, you're a first-time visitor, right? Why not check out the video from our CEO or our latest spring offer? And by acknowledging that they're a first-time visitor, it's proven that the psychology of a human, you're likely to get their attention more often and they're going to stick around more. That's what we want them to do. We want them to stick around and take action. And by acknowledging how many visits they've had, they will do that. You could say, hey, you're a third-time visitor, welcome back. And we're acknowledging that they've been there before. Another example would be this, which is really cool, is what we call themes in a calendar. And a calendar means that we can actually dictate when various themes are shown to the visitor. So here's an example. What we do sort of Christmas time or winter time, you'd be able to see snow falling down. Woo! Isn't it pretty? And we love this sort of stuff because it means that the animation grabs your attention, and it's proven again that when stuff's moving, it will grab your attention. We've got loads of these different themes, and I'm going to show you some of these as we go through now. But we've got hearts at Valentine, we've got fireworks for celebrations.
Kind of the moment at the moment. There's a lot of the chat platforms are doing this now as well. So was it? What do you have on an iPhone? Is it iChat or?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So iChat does these kind of animations, and the reason we do it, and the reason other developers use them for different systems, is that it works. They're engaging, and that's what it's all about. It's about engagement. You can see there we've also got Half Price website, an app for Black Friday. That was a Black Friday deal that we were running, and you'll see you've got a little arrow animation. All of this kind of stuff attracts the eye. We've got the countdown timer as well, which is an important thing that again generates an action-taking prompt. We call them calls to action. And this is all really important stuff, guys, that's built into our websites. It means we've got all the cool tools that get people to take action, to actually do something. That's a really popular one that we have at Halloween. But also, we can do all this in advance. So all this gets taken care of on autopilot. All it has to do is be given to us at the brief stage, and then we take care of the rest. And we can literally change anything on the website around a calendar, as well as using these animations and all of these different these cool tools. So that's a big plus for what we got. And of course, other web developers charge a lot of money for this sort of stuff, and this is all included in our system. And then we've got geolocation, so we can track where somebody is in terms of their location when they visit the website, and give them a unique message that is relevant to their location. So this example is when we went to Santon in South Africa. We were hosting a seminar there. Anybody that visited from Santon would get this message: welcome to Santon. It acknowledges that they're from Santon. If they're outside of Santon, they wouldn't get it. We use this a lot for things like takeaways, or pubs and restaurants that might be doing takeaway apps and they want to just appeal to a local audience, or businesses that in particular want to appeal to a local audience and recognize somebody as local and say, why not pop in, why not book an appointment? And that geolocation can really help. And then finally, we've got something that is dead simple, but really effective: device detection. So that means that if you're on a mobile phone, we can prompt you to make a call now, because believe it or not, mobiles, you can actually use them to phone people now as well. Not that anybody does anymore. Of course, everybody's sending text and emails and whatnot, but they're still a phone. And getting people to take action by making a call is a quick and efficient way of getting people to use that website effectively. And all of this is measured in the back end and is accountable, and we can send analytics via email every week to the customers, so they know exactly what's happening, and it's all done Really easy to understand and really simple. So that gives you a bit of an overview of our blue ocean, our USP, the thing that helps Blam stand out, but also hopefully it gives you a bit of an understanding of how we leverage that as a selling tool. Because we use that as one of the key things to get people to engage with us and start to having a conversation. But we've also got a number of other things that we use, and this we call the sort of the sales stack. And I want to talk to you a little bit about our sales stack as well. And again, you know, whether you're a Blam partner or not, just think about the theory behind this in case you want to apply it to your own business if you don't join us. And the big one is MRR, which of course stands for multiple Rolls Royces. That's right, Ed.
It is for some people. It is for Roland.
It is. Yeah, it is for some people. But I'm guessing you've heard this before, guys. If not, what do you think it is? What do you think MRR stands for in the context of our business?
Yeah, drop a message in the chat if you want.
Feel free to drop it.
We're going to tell you in a second anyway. So
yeah, I want to tell you. So, monthly recurring revenue. This is our mantra. This is our, you know, the affirmation every day. Monthly recurring revenue. This is the thing that I wish I'd have had back in the last recession. This was what really upset the apple cart with my business, because my business model didn't have a recurring revenue model or anything of any, you know, any consequence, certainly not enough to cover the overheads. And that is the goal. Now we can leverage a monthly recurring revenue model to have a huge advantage to the way that we sell, because we're asking for a revenue that comes in every month. And the more we sell, the more money we make, and it just keeps coming in because we've got a very, very sticky product range. Now, that means that we can say no upfront design fee. Imagine that, guys. Imagine selling a website to somebody and saying to somebody, actually, we're not going to charge you for the design and development fee. Not like the competition are. It's not going to cost you a few £1,000 or a few $1,000. We're not going to charge you for that. There's no upfront design fee. Do you know what else? We're not going to put you in an annual or long-winded contract. We're not going to bother with that. We're just going to do a monthly rolling contract. Why would we do that, you might ask? In fact, the question I get asked a lot is, well, what if they want to cancel? Well, what if they do want to cancel? If they want to cancel, they must have a reason for it. If they want to cancel, they're not happy for some reason. The good news is, guys, vast majority of our customers are happy. Why would they cancel if they love what we do for them? So if we love what we do, why would we put a contract as a barrier in the way of the sale? And that is why we make more sales. And those sales they come with that monthly recurring revenue. And we've devised a system that helps to sell more websites and apps using our model, meaning that our partners get that monthly recurring revenue coming in, meaning that their goal is to get to the point where they wake up in the morning and they know their recurring revenue covers their overheads. And then they can really start building a business. In other words, they wake up at the beginning of the month and they know if they don't make any sales that month, that's okay. That is okay. And that's where I wish I would have been before. And that's where so many businesses wishes they were this time last year when the pandemic started. We're lucky enough to say that we did have a monthly recurring revenue because we'd built this model, and so many of our partners did too, which meant that the pandemic didn't strike fear into us in the same way that it did so many business owners. In fact, we saw our business grow hugely last year. It was a really good year for us. I put it down to this little formula that we've put together here. But the formula needs to be refined and then sold properly. And for that, you need a sales process. Now, you don't need the sales process from this guy because this is quite often what people think of when they think of a salesperson. Because quite often, and I'm speaking from personal experience here, we have a negative relationship with the idea of selling. In fact, we think of it as a bit of a dirty word, selling. And that's because nobody really likes being sold to. Nobody really likes feeling like they've been manipulated by a salesperson. So the goal is, guys, to understand that a good sales process actually comes about by being a business owner. Because if you are in business, you are in sales. And that is a truth that was told to me many years ago that I actually argued the toss on at the time. I said, I'm not in business. I'm in business. I'm not in sales. I'm a business owner. I'm a managing director. I'm a CEO. I'm not a salesperson, because I had a negative relationship with sales. And so the guy I was talking to, as my coach, said to me, "Yeah, well, Grant," he said, "who are your business gurus then, if you like your business?" And at the time, it was Steve Jobs. We're going back a bit now. Steve Jobs and Richard Branson. He said, "Well, Steve Jobs, he's the best on-stage salesperson there's ever been. They write books about his selling techniques from the stage. And Richard Branson, he's always selling. He'll do anything to sell. He'll jump out of a plane on a bungee rope, or he'll cross the Atlantic in a speedboat or a hot air balloon. He'll literally sell his soul to sell his business." And I hadn't thought about it like that. All the best salespeople, you don't notice you're being sold to, because they're just professionals at what they do. In fact, the goal is, as it was taught to me, you don't want to sound like a salesperson. That is a given. But you don't want to look, smell, or taste like a salesperson. This is really important stuff, guys, because if you start acting like a salesperson, people will push away from it. At Blam, what we teach you is how you can become a salesperson, professional salesperson, that doesn't sound, look, taste, or smell like one. And using all those senses really brings it to life. And if you follow a proven system and you don't deviate, you will get results. And just to sort of give you an overview of this, guys, it's what we call a consultative approach. It's a bit like being a doctor. You've got to ask the right questions to find out what's wrong in order to prescribe a prescription that's going to get results. And if we go about our business in the right way and we present in the right way, we will be giving our prospects the opportunity to make an informed decision about whether it's a good idea to come with us or go elsewhere. And if we do our job properly, we won't have any fear about what that decision is, because we'll know that we'll have done the right presentation, and the decision that the client makes, whether it's a yes or a no, will be the right one. Imagine being in that position. Imagine being that empowered. We can teach you this kind of stuff. In fact, we did a really good sales webinar yesterday that we had that was, really going into the psychology of this. And that's kind of what we do. Ed and I now, we run Blam, and we've been doing it for 6 years. And the bulk of what we do is helping our partners become entrepreneurs, to help them run their own digital marketing business, to help other people with their marketing, but using business philosophy, business mentoring. We've been in business a long time. We know what we're doing, and we want to pass it on, and we want to grow Blam and the Blam Partnership Program using the benefit of our experience. That is the goal. And in order to do that, guys, we have to ask a big question. This question I ask often with partners. And this question, by the way, you should ask yourself this question no matter what business you go into. But the question is, what problem do we solve? And our target audience, of course, is small to medium-sized businesses, SMEs, and we want to help them with their digital marketing. However, they haven't got the time. They don't understand digital marketing. They haven't got the knowledge and the skills, and they're worried about spending their money in the wrong area. And we have to have a lot of empathy for them. This is a huge problem that they're facing, and it's been emphasized massively because this revolution that's gone on in the last 6 months, last 12 months, we've seen an exponential growth in digital marketing because we've been forced to use digital. We haven't had a choice. There's some stats that I've seen that have said in the first 90 days of lockdown, we saw an acceleration 10 years into the future in 3 months. In 3 months, that is super fast paced, guys. Unbelievable. How can a small business owner keep up with that? And it's always changing. Google always changing their algorithms. There's always new technology coming out. And it's now more important than ever. If you haven't got a digital strategy as a business owner now, you kind of haven't got a business. And guess what, guys? if we divided up all the small businesses around the world, between all of the digital marketing agencies that there are at the moment and marketing agencies that there are at the moment, there would be 250,000 businesses per agency. In other words, the supply of marketing people is it's in demand. It's in massive demand. So you're looking at this at the right time. Now is the time to get on board, and now is the time while all these businesses are really, really needing your help. And that's why we've got this massive, audacious goal, guys, because we know the market is so huge, and we want to be the world's biggest designer of websites and apps for small businesses, bar none. That is our goal, and that's why we've got a partnership program, because to achieve that, we need to empower other people, other entrepreneurs, with our tools, with our systems, with our processes, to be able to go out and help as many small business owners as possible. And that's why we've got the partnership program. And in order to do that, in order to show you how we do that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we call our 3 pillars. And these are the 3 things that drive us, the 3 things that we call our whys, that really help us achieve the things that we want to achieve. And the first one is our products. And I've talked about AI websites, and Ed can show you a lot more about these. It's our core product. The reason is, marketing really starts with a website. All roads lead to a website. If you're going to do any kind of marketing, most people are going to check you out on the web. So it's the foundation of a marketing strategy. Now, our websites, we believe wholeheartedly that they're the best product on the market for small businesses. Now, when you believe something passionately like that, you're driven to try and sell more of them. You really are. And our partners, because they've got trust in that product, it helps you, get out there and sell more of it, because you believe in it. You know that every time you make a sale, you've done a good thing. And that means that for us, we've got this foundation. We call it our why. And that means that we've got the tools behind us that can help us deliver more of what we need to do. And that means a future-proof system for a start. So in other words, our partners don't need to worry about updates, about patches, about anything to do with what might happen in the future, because we do updates for all of our customers, every one of our partners' customers, every month. Did over 90 updates last year. It's a future-proof system. We've got a drag and drop editor, which means that our websites can be edited and updated by our clients, and for some clients that's really important to them. We actually will take care of all the updates if they ask us to, but some people like control of it themselves, which is good. We offer all the support and the tech support, so our partners don't need to be technical, because we take care of all the support and all the technical support. And everything's covered in a dashboard, meaning that our partners have got full transparency on all of their clients, what they're being charged and everything else. You don't need to worry about security or hosting or anything like that, because we use Amazon Web Servers, who are super secure, the best on the planet. And if it's good enough for Amazon, it's good enough for us. There's loads more stuff. We could wax lyrical about our websites for a while, but like I say, jump on the deep dive and Ed will tell you more. So other products, we've got loads of other products, and again, Ed can talk to you more about these. So I'm briefly just going to show you. We've got a really cool app product that helps small businesses with loyalty schemes, with communication, with stamp cards, with shopping, with takeaways, and all sorts of really cool tools that make having an app for a small business, a really, really good marketing tool.
Oh my God, that was really good timing. Sergio just chimed in and asked me, can you tell me more about the apps?
We can indeed.
Yeah, we'd love to show you what we have app-wise, but they are PWA. They are native for Android and for iOS as well. So, but we can go into the details in the deep dive.
The deep dive. So
can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfectly, mate. Yeah, perfectly. So the deep dive that Ed does, he'll show you the back office. He'll show you how all this works. Show you how cool the apps are. But obviously my background is apps, so I've been developing apps since 2010. And selling apps, and the strategy behind apps is really, really key. Again, we do all the development, all the design. You don't need to worry about that. We take care of everything. We focus more on helping you to build your business, and meaning we take care of all the tech. As with the social side of things, so we've got our own posting social platform as well, which is absolutely awesome. It means that we can post really high quality posts to 6 different platforms in one go, meaning that it can be cost effective and effective. And again, something that Ed can show you on the deep dive, but a really, really cool tool using AI to make sure that we post at the appropriate time to get the most engagement, all built into the system. And then local SEO. Ed and I have just come off a really exciting call about this. Just prior to this, we are improving and extending our SEO offering, which is search engine optimization. We've got a really, really cool back office system for this. That means that we can, again, generate great profits for our partners and deliver exceptionally good products to the end customer, making it very sticky. And that's what it's all about, guys. Stickiness is key. Because you want that recurring revenue model. So we've got loads of other products. I've just scratched the surface. Ed can tell you more on the deep dive. We cover, we're a full service agency for our partners. You've got the whole team behind you as a Blam partner. And yeah, like I say, book on with Ed to find out more. But then we've got our processes, and that means, our systems and training. How do we deliver all of this information to you? Well, we do it through what we call our certified partner program, which is delivered online, meaning you can access it 24/7 with all of our secret sauce packaged into videos that deliver the training to you, so you can become a certified partner, meaning you've got that accreditation, knowing that you've got that quality seal, which will appear on your website. You can have it on your business cards, etc., showing that you are trained and you know what you're talking about, because we want Blam partners to be the most highly trained partner digital marketers in the room. That is the key. And in order to ensure that we do that, we've not only got our own certified partner training that is supported, by the way, by the team every step of the way. So you've got full access to the team every step of the way, but you also get all of the digital marketer courses. Digital marketer, for those of you who aren't familiar with them, are pretty much renowned as the best trainers of marketing on the planet. Ryan Dice, who heads Digital Marketer Up, you may have heard of. Keynote
Dice Meister.
The Dice Meister, that's what we call him. Hell of a guy. Just there's nobody. I mean, if you look at, in fact, if you look him up on Wikipedia, Ryan Dice.
I tried that though. I tried that. Yeah, it's not there.
Yeah, he was last time I looked. It said Ryan Dice and his companies basically own the internet. It's been taken down.
I don't know.
Was there last time?
Maybe sometimes people don't know how to spell dice, don't they?
No, maybe. Yeah. Is that you when you did the search? But this content, guys, the basically what we've done is, for a Blam partner, you will not need to go on any more courses. You will not need to buy anything else, go down any funnels or any kind of training. We provide the lot. Each one of those courses is an in-depth course into a really important part of becoming a digital marketer, what we call a full stack marketer. And our goal at Blam is to give you everything you need to be successful, to help small businesses, so that you don't have to worry about doing anything else. We provide the lot with our training, with our weekly webinars. We do 2 webinars a week, to every week for the training, with our ongoing support through social media, through our account management team, through Ed and myself. Our goal is that you don't need anything else ever. It's all there for you as a Blam partner. And to help us facilitate that, I'm really proud to say our people are awesome. And you've probably spoken to a couple already. You may have spoken to Ed, you may have spoken to Alex. Yeah, who's also on the call. But I want to talk to you about the Blam Mentor, because Ed is the guy that actually does the majority of the onboarding during the early stages of your partnership. And there's a really good reason that Ed is so hands-on in those early stages. And to explain why that is, I'm going to just give you a little bit about his background, because
Mr. Van der Klein will make you shine.
he will, he will, because it ain't much.
Yeah. It's a
if it ain't Dutch.
It's a silent J, by the way. It's silent J. So it's
Yeah.
Klein, as in Calvin Klein, but he's
And if
not
anybody,
no relation.
If anybody does speak Dutch, if they just want to put in the chat, what does Van der Klein translate as?
Ooh, nice. Yeah, if you know that, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah.
And on the deep dive, I will teach you the most impressive Dutch sentence. So if you ever meet a Dutch person and you say that phrase, yeah, and it's not rude. It's not rude, by the way. Not rude.
You're not, because I remember I was on holiday once, and my son, who was a teenager at the time, and he was full of teenage hormones, met an attractive young Dutch girl, and I said, "Don't worry, Brew. I'll phone Ed, and he'll give me a phrase that you can use to impress her." Is that the phrase you were going to teach these people, Ed?
And it didn't work, did it?
Well, the phrase was something along the lines of, "My shopping cart has got a wobbly wheel."
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I've got a feeling it may have been his diction, his
really
his delivery.
How rude.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
Definitely. Well, anyway, cool.
So Ed started his life not as a comedian, in hospitality, meaning that he ran restaurants. And one of the big restaurants he ran was the Disneyland restaurant in Paris, in Disneyland Paris, one of the big restaurants there. But Ed, even though he was in catering, really had the entrepreneurial itch, as you guys do. And what was the book you read, Ed?
Rich Dad Poor Dad. My mum gave it to me.
How did she?
It's just she gave it to me. It was she teaches Dutch to like foreigners that come in, and it was actually one of her Canadian. And I must look this guy up. There's a Canadian chap who recommended it, because that guy's changed my life. You know, it really has. It's amazing how these little things. You know, talk about the butterfly effect.
Yeah. Yeah. So Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, guys, if you haven't read that book, it's like an entrepreneurial rite of passage. You've got to read that book. He says in his book, if you're going to be in business, you need to learn how to sell. And Ed took that one to heart. He really did, because he gave up his job and went straight into the fire. Door-to-door sales. It doesn't get any harder than door-to-door sales. But it was a baptism of fire, guys. And, you know, it led him on to finally become, you know, a salesperson and a digital marketing consultant, selling websites and digital marketing services. LinkedIn was a big part of what he did. And that's when we met. And he saw the advantage of becoming a Blam partner, because Ed was outsourcing at the time, outsourcing his design and development to freelancers. And the Blam Partnership Program obviously offers the opportunity to take all that, you know, off his shoulders, and we just take care of it. And so he became Blam partner. So Ed, the reason it's, you know, it's this little story is important is that Ed used to be a Blam partner. He paid his hard-earned cash and joined us. And of course, you know, the rest is history, as they say. He was really successful. He started helping partners, mentoring them and helping them as well. And then we were lucky enough to team up. And now he's director of the business. And his sole role is, you know, he does the onboarding, and he helps guys like you to become successful using the tools that we know about. And so now Blam Partners is what we do. And it's all about helping people. It's all about helping partners, and everything's measured in our system so that we make sure that we are doing the right things, that we're helping our partners. Because if we don't get that bit right, we haven't got a business, you know. And our feedback is generally at 100%. Occasionally we get some negative feedback, which gives us the opportunity to improve. Because improving is really, really key for us. Is always being better. Because we're creating tech entrepreneurs, and our partners are the entrepreneurs. We take care of the tech, and they can work from anywhere in the world as long as they've got an internet connection. And God, we've proved that one, haven't we? Blimey, since we went into lockdown, our staff don't need to come into the office anymore, but they never really did, because this is the way we've been doing business for a long time now. And so one of the reasons that we were able to pivot so quickly during the pandemic is because we've always done webinars. We've always taught people to do presentations using Google or Zoom. That's the way we've always done it. We've always sold overseas. And therefore we were able to hit the ground running. And I think that's another reason why we're seeing exponential success during the pandemic. And as a result of that, we've had successful partners too, and they're kind enough to do little video testimonials for us. And Tony sent us one, this guy Tony, without us even asking him, which was awesome of him. And he started just over a year ago now with us. He's growing his business nicely, doing a great job, and he's recorded testimony. I'm not going to play it now, guys, but please feel free to go on to blampartners.com/testimonials, and you'll see a load of testimonials. We're always adding to them. Because our partners, we are very passionate about helping them, and they love helping us too. So they've recorded testimonials, and you can check those out. So Tony's testimonials on there. He's a great guy, been with us just over a year now. Cheryl's been with us probably 3 or 4 years now. She made her money back in the first month. She also got burnt as well, guys. She joined another partnership program before she joined us, which turned out to be not what it was pertained to be. So a little bit of advice there about buyer beware. Just make sure you do your due diligence. There are other reputable partnership programs out there, but there are some that are not so reputable. So just make sure you do due diligence. And if you watch that video, you can see that she gives a little bit of advice on that. But again, great partner. She's growing a business, big team now. Really cool partner. Mike DeMeo, he's a classic, Ed's best mate, as I like to call him, mainly because he's got a really cool place over in Florida that Ed wants to go and visit, go out on his boat. He's building a team now. I mean, Mike was a corporate guy. I mean, I interviewed him over there in Florida. He took early redundancy and then set up his business by he whittled us down from 2,500 different franchises. And he just found that we share the same values, and yeah, great guy. We met him over in San Diego, didn't we, a couple of years ago now. Spencer is growing a team massively. This guy is really putting the graft in. Since I interviewed him on this interview, his business has exploded. It really has. And that day was a really important day for us, because it was kind of like where it all exploded from that day, where we had a really good conversation that day. It was a mentoring session that I was doing with him. And wow, his business is growing really well. He's one of our top partners during last year. And then Matt, who is awesome, the funniest testimonial, I'll give him that. He's full-time on his business now, but he was full-time work for somebody else. And he fully admitted that he didn't throw himself into it fully for a while, but then when he did, the results were instant, and that video tells the story. So all of those can be found on blampartners.com, guys. So feel free to check them out. But what you won't find if you look on the internet is our inner circle group, because we've got a private Facebook group just for partners. And Sarah, one of our long-standing partners, posted this right at the beginning, about a year ago now, at the beginning of the pandemic. And she said,
how long ago that is. Yeah,
I know, isn't it flown by? Really has. Yeah. But this is back when, imagine at the beginning of the pandemic, guys, we were all like, what's going to happen next? And Sarah posted this on the Facebook group. And she said, I have to say, Grant, I'm hugely grateful to Blam for encouraging me to build a business based on a recurring monthly income, as I'm hoping it will help me weather this storm more easily than other businesses. I'm feeling very sorry for lots of people. And you know what, guys? That is exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about MRR, monthly recurring revenue, because when lockdown happened, Sarah had to homeschool her child. Sarah was stuck at home like the rest of us, but she didn't have to panic, because she had money coming in. She had that recurring revenue. She didn't need to go out and make sales. Otherwise, like a lot of businesses do, where it's, if I don't make sales, I'm going to fail. That is what the MRR can do for you guys. It can give you peace of mind. It gives you a recession-proof business. So what
We
kind of
need to
money?
set up another interview with her because Sarah is one of those prime examples of people who just persevered with it and
She is.
did it by hook or by crook. She's absolute legend.
Yeah, I
And
will.
actually,
I will.
if you're in, I've sent a little compilation of testimonials in the link. There's an interview that Grant did with a chap called John Richardson, who actually paid his money for the franchise in February 2020. A month later, lockdown happened. So
Yeah.
you can imagine how he felt,
Yeah.
right? But it's an amazing story, and he's had a
Yeah.
phenomenal year. He's one of our best performing partners now.
Yeah, he's just had a great month in January. I spoke to him yesterday actually, and
Spoke
he's
to him
still on his
today. Yeah.
own. It's just him doing his thing, and that interview is really insightful because I really want to get across that the panic he went through because when you start a new business, it's bad enough starting in normal trading environments. Imagine starting your own business, then all of a sudden the whole world shuts down because of a global pandemic, and you've just spent your life savings on a business opportunity. He was like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" He'd just given up his job. But as he says in the interview, his fears were unfounded, and
Mm-hmm.
look at him now.
Awesome.
So what can you earn, guys? Well, Ed can show you this. We've got something we call a revenue assumptions calculator. And this little tool, Ed can walk you through to give you an understanding of what you can earn in your currency, because all of our fees, by the way, are charged in the currency of the country that you're in. So you don't have to worry about fluctuating exchange rates or anything like that. But just to give you an idea, if you did what an average partner might do, which is 4 websites a month, 1 app, and 1 SEO package, that would be an average month. Okay. To give you an example, John, who we just talked about, I think he did 7 sales last month. And that's good going, don't get me wrong. In fact, we did our awards, didn't we, at Christmas? So we did our partner awards at Christmas, and we did an award for the partner that had sold the most amount of websites in 1 week, and the winner was 7. Guy over in South Africa did 7 in 1 week. There were quite a few that had done 6, hot on his heels, but yeah, 7 was the winner. And so that gives you a bit of an understanding of what can be achieved. That's by no means, by the way, that's not usual. That's a good result. But if you do 4 in a month, that's 1 a week. That's what I'd be hoping you would be aiming for. So if you do that for a year, you've got a recurring revenue after you've paid us at the basic price that we charge, which is, the standard website, we charge £100 a month, no upfront fee. So it doesn't include any other extra costs. That's £6,600 a month recurring, or €7,800, or 100,000 rand, or 8,200 US, or 10,300 Canadian. Something similar in Australian, depending on what you sell. But that is what you can be looking at as a monthly recurring revenue. What I say about Blam is, if you go down this route, it's not a get rich quick model. Okay, we're not an overnight success. Spend your money with us and we're going to make you millionaires. There's no such thing as that, guys. Let's be honest. We all know it, really. This is a solid business. This is a proper business that builds a recurring revenue that is for the long term. Because if you earn that in the first year, you'll be earning double that in the next year, and then the same again as you grow your business. This is a proper solid business, and the idea is that you build something that's got longevity, that's stable, that's solid, and that can give you that feeling when you wake up in the morning. If you decide to take the day off, not a problem. The money keeps coming in, and that really is what MRR is all about. So I hope you found that useful, guys. I hope you found that of interest. I am now going to talk about the package. We have got a deal that we're running at the moment that I want to talk to you about if the Blam partnership is of interest. If it's not, or if you're watching on the rerun, I just want to say thank you for your time and attention. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and I wish you well on your entrepreneurial journey. Don't forget, if you're in business, you're in sales, don't forget you need a USP. Don't forget monthly recurring revenue. But if you are still here and you want to find out about this month's deal, stick around. I'm going to run through. It's going to take just 5 minutes and I'll show you what we've got. So what is included? We're doing a package today. We're doing a deal in February. It is a limited offer. I'm going to talk about that shortly, but let me just tell you what you get in the deal, because this is the bit we're really proud of. The Blam certification is exclusive to Blam. Only Blam partners get it. It's worth over £10,000 and it is our secret sauce. It's the model, the processings, the mentoring and the support that you get from Blam, all wrapped up in a tutorial and learning management system, combined with access to the Blam management team. And that really is the priceless bit, because learning is one thing, application is another, and we want to make sure you apply it. And that's all included in the package, and that's part of what we sell in the package today. Plus, you get access to the Facebook group, meaning that you can get access to all of the partners, as well as weekly delivery of training. I'm doing one tomorrow at 4 o'clock UK time. It's worth £2,500, and it's in all the back catalogue is in there as well. Every single week on a Wednesday, we do that training. You get exclusive access to the partner deal. So we're always running partner deals. Valentine deal that's running at the moment means that partners have access to all the graphics, the social media content, press release training, and all the things that you need to be able to put a deal together to get more sales. Also, most importantly, with a deadline. Then you get the Blam social package and training, meaning that you can actually sell Blam social to your clients, meaning that they can post high quality content with all the pre-populated templates, big resource center that goes with it. It's worth over £2,000, and that is included in the package. Then there's the accountability program. That means you get access to a multi-mind group of other partners. This is worth over £5,000 because it's all year round access once a month to like-minded individuals, up to 5 people in your group that you can share your journey with, and you can all help each other grow. I believe that is one of the most powerful things with the Blam Partnership Program. Then you get your own brand and logo that we design for you based on your business name that you come up with, because as a Blam partner, you get your own business with your own brand. You can call yourself a Blam certified partner, so you get the Blam branding to go with it so that you can use that kudos and credibility, as well as designing you a really cool AI website, plus the app and all the enhanced features that go with it, meaning as a package, it's worth well over £2,500, and that is included in the deal. You get that as being a Blam partner included in it. We do weekly sales webinars as well, so very much focused on sales. Every Monday at 5 o'clock, we do sales training focused on helping you build your business. Remember what I said about being in business, you're in sales. It's a big focus of what we do. We want to help you grow your business. Ed and I do that every week. Then we give you access to all of the digital marketer courses, all 11 courses, hours and hours of content. You will never need to buy another course again. If you're in marketing, you've got everything you need, because these courses are updated regularly with all of the resources that go with them, worth over £5,000, all included. Plus, you get the bespoke marketing materials exclusive to Blam partners. That means we design your business cards, your pull-up banners, your leaflets. Everything is included in the design. Worth over £1,000, and that is included. And then finally, and this is a really big deal for this month, we're doing a deal on what we call our Do It For You package. So Do It For You package means that our team design and develop all of the websites and apps that you send through to us included in the package. That means you pay a fixed monthly fee every month, and we will design an unlimited number of websites and apps for you. Now, this month, we're doing a deal on that fee. It's actually a third of the price that we normally charge. But if you went out and took the business to a freelancer, based on that average sale of one a week that I talked about on the last slide, you'd be spending over £48,000. You know, that's getting on for sort of 60,000+ US dollars and more on freelancers to get that designed and developed. With this package, it is included. I'm going to tell you more about that in just a sec. So if we look at the value that we're providing It's over £82,000 worth of value, all wrapped up in a package, which is over 118,000 US or 2 million rand, nearly 100,000 euros or 154,000 Canadian or Australian. So a hell of a lot of value. But we're doing a deal. Don't forget, guys, I know you've probably seen the website. You know what we normally charge. And normally we'd be charging £15,000 as our onboarding fee for this to get access to all of that. And then the ongoing fee would be $299 a month once you start selling. However, this month we are knocking a third off the upfront price as our Valentine's deal, and we're knocking 2/3 off the monthly. So the monthly will be £99 a month, or whatever that equates to in your currency. But the upfront fee has got a whole £5,000 knocked off it. Now, that means 13,500 US, 18,000 Canadian or Australian, 11,000 euros or 200,000 Rand. Now, it is a limited offer. This deal does end at the end of February. It's the end of this week. And in actual fact, we've got one slot left. Sounds like I've just made that up, but anybody that sees this webinar regularly will know we're quite genuine and open about this. We take on board 6 partners a month. That is what we do. We've sold 5. We've got 1 left. The reason we only take on 6 is because we are very hands-on, and we want to make sure that each partner gets the full attention that they deserve. And Ed and I make ourselves available to these partners, and therefore we want to make sure that that attention is guaranteed, and that's why we've only got 1 slot left. Now, for those of you that are looking at the upfront price, you might be thinking, do you know what, I really love the idea of this, but I can't stretch to that in one go. We have got payment plans. So the most important thing for us really is to find out whether or not you think this is the right thing for you to do. And to do that, you need to go on a deep dive with Ed, because the next steps are to have that demo with Ed to really find out whether this is for you. Because if it is, we can then start talking about whether you need to be on a payment plan, or whether we need to apply for funding. There's all sorts of different ways, especially at the moment with what's going on in the world. There's loads of funding available. Let us know. It's more about whether this is a good fit for you. Because if it is, you can sign the proposal to lock in that deal. So we've only got 1 slot left. You can sign the proposal to lock in the deal. And obviously time is of the essence in this instance. When we get to this time of month, there's only 1 left. The price will go up in March, because once we get your payment, which could be a deposit payment or the full payment, the onboarding begins, and you could be trading within 2 weeks, guys, within 2 weeks. Typically it takes 30 days, takes about a month, but it could be within 2 weeks. So if this is of interest, don't forget, use the chat where Ed's link is to book in the diary. Time is of the essence. I am happy to take questions. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Grant. Brilliant presentation. Thanks for sticking around, Sherman. Good to see you, Sergio. I hope the car is on its way to getting fixed. So feel free. I'm just going to close off the meeting, and then I'll stop recording, and then we'll unlock the mic. So if you're watching this on the replay, guys, thanks for joining us. Please click the link in the description below, and any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. So really good to see you here. But if you're watching this live, stick around for the Q&A, and I'll stop recording now.